on the beat.
Hey, what's up, fight fans? It's your boy Nick from NickPortella MMA.com. Today, I have an awesome interview, slightly venturing out of my realm, but with a very special guest, Shelitos Vincent. Shelly, how are you doing?
How you doing, my man? I'm doing good.
I'm doing good. Now, before I get into all the good stuff, how did we arrive at your nickname?
Shelitos way. I mean, a couple different ways. You know, like in the movie, his life was one way. He tried to change it. You know what I'm saying? All that. Shelito. One of my coaches, one day I walked into the gym and he was like, Shelito, Montoya, Chavez, Clemente, right? And I was like, dude, I'm Italian. He's like, oh, I thought you were Spanish. Like, yeah. And then, you know, Shelitos way. I made it Shelitos way. You know, little Shelly. Shelitos way is every which way but down. You know what I'm saying?
I just figured it was you do what you want.
Yeah, I do what I want. My symbol is my name and the anarchy sign. I wear the V for Vendetta mask. Or similar to the movies, the names. Obviously, it's not against government, but I was raped as a child. I was abused as a child. So what they did to me was monstrous, and they created a monster. You know what I'm saying? So with the mask on, we're all this. You know what I'm saying? We're all the same, but behind the mask, we're all different. But we're all fighting a fight. And then the real Guy Fawkes was born 2 days after me, and he died the same day as my mother. So, you know, everything has a deep meaning. I wear the straight jacket to symbolize the way women are tied down in sports, and me breaking free of my demons the night I fight. You know.
I actually looked up your story, and it is a very long and drawn out one. But I know, again, your road to success hasn't been easy with everything growing up. But it's made you who you are. It's, you know, made you adapt to your nickname and everything else. I also know you're very involved in the community, especially with children who are like victims of sexual assault and things of that nature.
Yep.
How motivating is it for you to show them that, hey, I've been in this situation and look where I am now?
Yeah,
you're like a role model.
Yeah, and I don't really like to call myself a role model because, you know, I cuss a lot, stuff like that. So I'm not a perfect individual, but I was that kid. I was a broken kid. I used to sleep in the closet. I used to, after my mom got beat, I would like lay on her chest and listen to her heart to make sure that she was still alive and stuff. They actually had to get me a heartbeat that went into a pillow so I would sleep at night and stuff.
Wow.
My mother was, poured gasoline on her and chased around the house by my, stepfather. I was hung from a wall by my neck until I almost passed out. But it's like, especially the rape part, which it was a different man. It wasn't him. It wasn't my real father. It wasn't my stepfather that was abusing me. It was my mother's boyfriend after that. But, like those kids, like I was like, you know, I was so embarrassed and I didn't want to talk about it. And I'm sure you read the story, but then I was like, you know what? I have to say something because I know there's another little kid out there that's going through this. And my whole childhood, I just wish I had somebody that I could talk to. You know,
yeah.
And that I
just got to say,
life would have been different.
Yeah, I just got to say, I don't know. It takes a bigger person to come out and, you know, talk about the things you talk about. A lot of people shy away.
Yeah, and everybody's going to criticize you. But I was like, so the first time I did it, I went to the junior high, one of the junior highs that I was in, and these were junior high kids, like, and I think it was the middle grade. So what is it, 5th, 6th, and 7th now?
Yeah, or 6th, 7th, 8th, one of them.
Yeah, so it was like the 6th grade or the 7th grade, but it was junior high, not even high school, right? So these are little kids. These are kids like 12, 10, 11, 12 that I was talking to. So I'm telling my story the whole time. I'm shaking because I never spoke about it before. You know, but something in my heart told me I had to do this. So, and then right after, 3 little girls and a couple little boys hit me up. But the little girls is what stuck out the most. They was like, oh, Miss Shelly, the same thing's happening to me and I wanted to kill myself, but hearing your story and seeing that I can change it, like I don't want it. And every time I go to a school and say this, these little kids reach out to me, even little boys, and it's heartbreaking because you think you're the only one going through it, especially at that age and that young. And I was just dumb. I didn't know anything. I should have protected myself instead of trying to protect my mother. But I love my mother to death. My mother is everything to me. But I wasn't mature enough in my mind to know that I had to help myself and not help my mother stay out of an abusive relationship.
Right.
And what had happened was the guy started to try to get my sister when I started hiding. So I told my sister told my mother went to the police. And they were both they both worked in the same spot, and I can't say too much about it anymore because of the legal stuff.
No,
but,
that's fine.
And he doesn't work. My mother was a correctional officer. That's all I'll say. And they worked together. And my mom got suspended, and he lost his job. And my mom got suspended because she fought that man. You know. But
it's just unreal what you've been
through. And it's heartbreaking, man. So like anything that I could do for kids, I try to. I just because I know it's gonna help somebody. Like, and then I'm sure that I tried to kill myself a bunch of times. And no matter what I did, I never died. And I feel like now that's because I have a reason and a purpose, and my purpose is to try to help these kids. Everybody sees me as an asshole, but these people just don't know me,
I can tell you, I read your story, and I do not see you as an asshole. I like to do a little bit. I like to do research, read into, if you act a certain way. If nobody knew your story, okay, all right, maybe,
Really, I was just trying to make a fight.
Yeah. But we're going to get into that. I've seen a couple spots where you stole the show, but we'll get into it. So, but I wanted to ask about your trainer, Pete Manfredo. Huge part of your life, inside and outside the ring. I've seen you talk about it and about him a million times. How long have you been with your trainer?
I've been with Pete since my second pro fight. And it's funny because when I first went to Pete, my first trainer wasn't working well. He worked with Vinny Pazienza before, but it wasn't working with me and him. And, I won the nationals and everything with him. I was very successful boxing-wise with him, but it just wasn't working. So I went to Pete, and I'm like, hey, Pete, because I used to spar Missy Florentino when I was an amateur, and he had Missy. So I'm like, Pete, can you train me? And he's like, nah, he was like, I like your show, but there's no money in it for girls, and it's a waste of your time. You're not going to make no money either, and da-da-da-da. So I was like, man. So I would just go in the gym, and I would just work dumb hard, and I would just stare at him. Right?
Like, you're going to recognize me.
I'm going to grow on you, right? So then and then eventually he was like, you know what? Let's go, Shell. He was like, and Pete's like my father, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we have our ups and downs, just like any other, relationship, your sisters, your mother, your parents, but Pete's like a father to me, and he taught me so much in the ring and out the ring, and I got his back, he got my back, and when I say, like, we got each other's back, we got it outside of the ring, everything, If me and Pete ever wasn't to be together, there'd be no more boxing for me because I'm a very loyal person, and I don't jump around and do all that other stuff. So he's like,
and that's
he's like a father.
And your persistence paid off because now you got him. So now there's always, and it's funny you just mentioned this, there's always a debate that women's boxing does get the credit it deserves. It doesn't get the credit it deserves.
Hell no.
It doesn't. And while your rematch is on the undercard, it could absolutely headline a pay-per-view card. There's no question about it that it could be a fight of the night. It should be, headlining pay-per-view. Do you think women's boxing will ever see the limelight, especially when fights like this happen? People are going to show up. They know you guys are there to have a war, and you're both comfortable with it. Do you think what you guys are doing are moving you closer to that limelight where you're headlining pay-per-views?
I mean, absolutely. I think it's going to happen. Do I think it's going to happen in our time? No. And I could complain that boxing is bad for women, and it still is. There's a lot of bad stuff, but it also has picked up so much from where it has been that, we got to smile a little bit. I mean, me and Heather should be on TV. It should be a main event. Now listen to this. They're saying, women don't draw. Me and Heather both sell like crazy, right? I was selling 30,000 in my sixth fight, you know what I'm saying? I was selling out little arenas down here by myself. We didn't even need nobody. I wasn't on the top of the bill, but I was. Now for this fight, I have people that already bought their tickets. I don't even have the tickets in possession yet, and already bought their plane tickets from California, Florida, Texas, Virginia, and Atlanta.
That's
a
big deal.
So obviously, people are coming. People want to see this fight. Now, it's a damn shame that those people have to spend that much money when they should be able to just tune in and watch it on TV. Because me and Heather broke numbers for the TBC card that we won. We broke the numbers. It was because of me and Heather. You know what I'm saying? Danny Jacobs even said it. He called our fight that night. But it's a fact that me and Heather broke the TBC record in views. So imagine what it's going to do on the rematch, and especially on our HBO. And they trying to dodge us off, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know, but you guys will go do what you do, and the numbers will be there. So now you guys have an obvious rivalry, warranted. when did the rivalry actually begin and why? Was it just that because you were both at the top of the sport and it's just how it had to be, or?
No, now Heather's going to tell you this story. Heather's going to tell you, oh, I didn't meet Shelly. I was this and that and blah, blah, blah. But nobody knew Heather Hardy's name. People knew my name. You know what I'm saying? So Heather always, it was, Shelly needed me for a thing. I was undefeated. I already had 2 world championships. They weren't major, but I already had the IBA and the UBF. It wasn't the WBC, the WBO, and nothing like that. But it was probably my 7th, 8th fight, whatever. But I was calling out Heather way before then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, there's this blonde girl in New York. She's undefeated. I'm undefeated. We both won nationals the same year. I won it at 119. She won it at 125. So I'm like, yo, let's get this girl from New York. So we tried to make the fight a couple times. She said no. She said no. We're not. I'm not necessarily going to say her, but with her team, I was signed with a different promoter at that time, and so she kept saying no. I said, you know what? This is dumb because he's bringing all these girls over from far away when this girl's right there, right?
Right.
So I'm like, this is before people were even thinking about putting girls on TV. So I got in my car. We went over to wherever we went. I didn't know that fight was on television because I didn't know if they showed, women's girls on TV. So we went over there, and I was like, yo, it's good. Like, you know what I'm saying? I used it, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember. You know. So I went over there. Then she said her little thing, and I left. The fight still didn't happen. They were still saying no. So I went to her other fight. They threw me out. I was at ringside. They threw me out. The girl actually beat her that night. I thought she got beat by that girl. And so then they threw me out, but they just threw me out of the ringside. She thought they threw me out of the building. They had her go out the back way. So when she was in the hallway or whatever, I went up to her and I was like, listen, Heather. We had the camera rolling. So I said, listen, Heather. I said, just tell me that you don't want to fight me and just be real and I'll stop. You know what I'm saying? And she started going. Her mother came over. Her mother pushed me. And then her daughter was there, I guess. But we were at a bar on a Wednesday night. It was definitely school. And her daughter was up in the bleachers. But it was made to look like I, said something to her daughter. I didn't even know her daughter was there. It was 1 a.m. in the morning on a Wednesday at the Roseland. It wasn't the Roseland Ballroom, but it was in like a bar.
Okay.
BB King's or something, right? So I didn't know her kid was there. And anybody that knows me knows that I'm not out to make a little kid cry or nothing. You know what I'm saying? If she saw me stay behind her mother, she know that I want to fight her mother, and that was that. And then the third time was, because we obviously fought. And then I was promised an immediate rematch, and we were lined up to go in April. So the fight didn't happen. It fell through, and Heather was doing her MMA. So, and then she would never fight me in Connecticut. She said, no, we're not going to fight in Connecticut. Obviously, we're not fighting in Connecticut now, or Rhode Island. I live in Rhode Island, but Connecticut is, in the middle.
Close enough.
So, yep. So I ordered a Bellator weigh in, and I stepped up and like, yo, it's good, man. You won't fight me over here, but you over here, you wrestling with women, but I'm gay. You know what I'm saying? Just, being typical me. You know what I'm saying? Cracking jokes and stuff. But I'm like, come on, man. Like heat up. But the heat, heat up. They threw me out of there.
Oh, we saw it. That was on TV. All the MMA people saw it. Yeah, we all saw it, and it's on YouTube. You can't miss it anymore.
I knew it was on YouTube. I didn't know it was on TV.
Yeah.
But,
now, was that a planned visit, or did you just happen to figure out, hey, she's here, I'm close, let's go?
All right, so I'm from New London, which is like 20 minutes from there. That's where I'm originally from when I was a kid.
Right.
So they were like, oh, the Bellator, Brennan Wood, the bad boy, Irish Brennan Wood. That's one of my longest childhood friends, and his father used to train me when I was a kid. So he was supposed to be on that card, so I was going to see him regardless. So he ended up not fighting that night though, and so they were like, no, the weigh-in's tonight. I thought, oh, the weigh-in's tonight? And I'm like, come on, let's get in the car. We gotta go down there. Like, I'm gonna make this fight happen. You know what I'm saying? She in my backyard. She's over here in my town. Like, we going over there. So that was that. It wasn't planned, but I guess it was the best thing that happened because now everybody wants to see the fight, even the MMA fight. And look now, the couple of MMA.
It was big talk when it happened. It was definitely big talk.
And now look at, so a couple of MMA guys I don't know where it was from. I'm not going to say where it's from because I don't want to get no people in trouble.
Yeah, no, that's
fine. They hit me up and they were like, we want to get some interviews with you. So I was like, all right. So a couple of them was like, we were like, who's this trying to eat off her name? This little boy girl trying to eat off her name. And so he was like, then we watched the fight. And so everybody was talking, oh, you seen the girl that went and whatever crashed the weigh-in. So the guy said he watched the fight, and he said when he watched the fight, he said, hey, she got a legitimate beef because it looks like she did beat the girl. You know what I'm saying? So then all the MMA people started to get interested in it. Now it made the fight even bigger, but that wasn't even my intentions either. I just wanted my fight, man, because it's a fight that I feel that I won in my heart, and I don't think it was fair to me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I shouldn't have that one on my record. Or if at worst, at absolute worst, because I was in New York, it should have been a draw.
Yeah, well, I actually was going to ask you if you 100% believed you won that fight, which obviously
Absolutely.
you did.
In my heart, I feel like I won 6 rounds. I felt like I lost 2 rounds. She clearly beat me decisively those 2 rounds, and the other 2 were so close. I could see if they gave them to me or her. But the other 6, I felt like it was on me. I never backed up once. I was landing combinations, body shots. I wasn't getting no credit for the work. They said that my headbutt was from a punch, and I'm like, dude, it was a headbutt. You seen that? I got headbutt like 7 times in the first round.
I think
So
you actually said that in your corner when you if you rewatch the fight. You said I think I got headbutt like 5 times.
No, I didn't say I think. I said.
Or
it was
you
the
did,
first round
yeah.
I sat down. I said I already got headbutt 5 times, man. Heather's known for headbutting. I don't think she does it on purpose, but she's known for giving a headbutt. So then, in the 7th round, I think it was the 7th round, I got that headbutt, and it was that whole. I go to the corner and I'm like, damn, man, I got headbutt again, and that time I felt it a little bit. So the guy comes over from a punch, and I'm like, that definitely wasn't from where you see me like arguing with him. It wasn't from a punch. So yeah. Somebody sent me the clip like a week or 2 ago, and I posted on my page. You could clearly see the headbutt, and then my eye starts bleeding. But it was just like I wasn't gonna get no breaks there, and you know it.
Yeah. Some people think that if you're fighting at home, you may have kind of a home field advantage to say the least. Do you think that might have been possibly in play?
Yeah, I mean, look it. One judge had it a draw. The other one had me winning 1 round. Nobody, even linemen, wouldn't think that I only won 1 round in that fight. So that just shows you right there that something definitely wasn't right. I definitely won more than 1 round. And you know what? I would love that if when we fought this time, we could put them high school trackers in our racks. You know what I'm saying? So that we could have a legitimate count, because I felt like I threw more than her too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was a back and forth fight. It was a great fight. I'm not taking nothing away from nobody.
It was.
I moved on from that. It's a loss I can never get rid of, and I have to accept that and let that drive me for this fight. But no, in my heart, I absolutely in no way think that I lost that fight.
Yeah, what was kind of swirling around is the reason your rematch didn't happen was due to it was better finances going to fight MMA. Does that sound logical to you?
We were set up to fight in April in Nassau Coliseum.
Right.
And all of a sudden it didn't happen. She didn't want to fight me again. That's my opinion. I mean, it seems like she gets a little bit more over there in MMA, but like obviously we're going to get paid more than the first one for the second one, and the third one we're going to get even paid more for, because she's not leaving there with my property this time.
Right. So do you think your constant pursuit is what made this happen? I mean, I know the Bellator thing was like a big deal that everybody, but you're not new to calling her out. Like, you've wanted to fight, you keep asking for the fight. Do you think it's your persistence?
Because I was promised an immediate fight rematch.
And it didn't happen.
Right. And I was promised that it would be here, and it's not. But, you know, I just got to look past those things.
So you're 23-1, great record. Your only loss is to her. October 27th, you finally get the rematch that you wanted and deserved, because it was a great fight. This is not to stir the pot, but if you had to predict how this fight was going to go, how do you think this one ends?
I mean, we only had 3 weeks to get ready last time, and there's definitely things I did wrong. And I got 9 weeks now. I just started camp, and this is what I'm going to say, is that there's definitely going to be fireworks. I think it's going to be 10 rounds continued from those 10 rounds, but you're going to see a different Shelitos. You're going to see the old Shelito. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to give my game plan.
Please
don't. Nothing to work around or nothing. But everybody's going to see that old Shelito, that one that barely got hit, the one that all over the place, and it's just not going to be the same. I'm definitely not going to be leaning in, so she got to work on something other than that uppercut, because my weight's not going to be on the front leg this time. That was just from from
So,
lack of
so,
training.
so obviously you plan on leaving there with hardware. You plan on leaving with a strap. You leave with a title. You leave with the strap. Does she get an immediate rematch? Are you down to do it a third time?
Listen, when I win the belt and they go, what do you want next? I'm going to say Heather Hardy because I have to prove that first one wasn't real.
Look at you. I like that.
I want my fight immediately again for it to be Heather. If the promoter doesn't want that, there's nothing I can do about it. But I'm telling you all right now that if I win that strap, I'm going to say I want Heather Hardy in a couple of months down the road or whenever because I want to prove that first one wasn't what it was. You know what I'm saying? I have to rectify that wrong. And that's what matters to me. So this one's just like making it so that we're both undefeated again in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? So I got to get that checkmate, you know?
Right. And then we could settle this on the third one.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's the way it should be, you know? And
so
all
actually,
I'm asking for is for it to be fair. I just want neutral judges. I want a neutral ref. I don't want anybody from New York because it doesn't feel right to me. But you know what I'm saying? I said yeah to Madison Square Garden because when I was a little kid, I played basketball. I wanted to be a professional basketball player. All I wanted to ever do was just shoot some hoops at Madison Square Garden. So if I get to do what I love now and live my dream, what it is now, where I wanted to live my first dream, I mean that's amazing. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I
the Garden's a big deal.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one of the biggest stages ever. And to fight underneath Danny Jacobs, and I lost my mother to cancer, and to see him fight that battle and come back and be a world champion, like that's so inspirational for me. And that's going to give me the push and the drive also that I need for that night. So I always looked up to Danny.
Actually, on the lighter side of things, as soon as this fight was announced, you know how it is on social media, everybody picks a side. You know, there was people that were on your side. Then there was actually people rooting for her that were kind of shit talking you.
Oh yeah, all the time.
She actually went on there, and I saw the post. I'll try to attach it to this interview, and kind of silenced it all. That she didn't want all that. Like it's okay to pick a side, but at this point in your career, does any of the nonsense on social media even bother you anymore?
No, absolutely not. And the men don't like me because my woman's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I have beautiful women. And, you know what I'm saying? Men are always, they always have something to say about me. And their girlfriends are looking. I'm a cute kid, you know? But,
well, I like you if that counts for anything.
You know, that's why my nickname is your baby mom's favorite boxer. You know what I'm saying? And this is always, the men are always hating on me. And why wouldn't they? Heather got blonde hair, blue eyes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the men follow her because you know how it is with guys and women. And you know what I'm saying? She has a lot of followers. Of course, her people are going to say, oh, yeah, Heather's going to win. But also, her fans after that first fight, quite a bit of her fans and people from her gym said, you know, I thought you won that fight. Famous people told me they thought I won that fight. So that's what makes this fight so beautiful and why it should be on TV because it was so controversial. But, yeah, no, that stuff don't bother me. I laugh about it. I make videos and I'm like, yeah, and then they're like, oh, check for a penis. And I'm like, nah, actually it's there. I have a few and they're all bigger than yours. You know? So it's
nice.
Like,
you just run with it.
I try to throw it back at him. Yeah, run with it because it doesn't bother me. I dealt with that most of my life. I dealt with a lot of stuff most of my life. I'm a openly gay person since I was an athlete since I was a kid. Like I'm used to this stuff. Like if you want to offend me, call me something else other than a faggot or a dyke or whatever. Where I have a mustache. It took me 25 years to grow those 10 little whiskers I got, and somebody needs to compliment me instead of trying to put me down. Obviously, I want them there. Obviously, I want to look like a dude. You know what I'm saying? Just like they got to be a little bit more creative to get under my skin. I got skin. I've been through a lot.
I got to say, you're one of the most fun interviews I've ever done. It's just fun to talk to you. So now, since this is going to go on social media, and we know how that outlet is, odds are Heather may or may not listen to it. But if she were to listen to it, what message would you like to give her?
I mean, me and Heather did a couple interviews. We actually posted a video together the other night. Somebody, just the rumors, just like what you were saying, the shit talking in the rumors. Somebody started a rumor that my father is training her. So I'm like, yo, let's just clear this up just to show that most of the stuff that's being said isn't even true. You know what I'm saying? And really, Heather knows what's up. Heather, I told her yesterday in the interview, I'm like, you're not getting your banner hung up in the gym. You're not leaving with my stuff. You're going to see the old Shelito. And she told me I'm going to see a bitter old mother or something like that. And I said, all right, it's A, but you're not leaving with my property.
And
Heather
that's
knows
just
what's
how
up.
it is.
That's just how it is. That she's going to have to kill me to leave with that belt. And she's, obviously, she can't kill me.
So now, I do
I'm
want to
working
kind of,
extra hard for this one, and I'm confident. I know that I'm leaving with that belt. Like I feel it in my heart.
well, that's a good way to take it. You have to, well, if you ain't going there for that, why are you going, right?
Right.
So
And
now
why
I
would I
want to,
take it in New York if I didn't feel confident? Like
right.
I'm leaving with my property, and we'll run it back. And I promise her, and I'm not going to be like her. I promise her, we'll run it back in 3 months if she wants to.
Well, there you heard it here. 3 months when she wins, she's ready for the trilogy. So now I kind of want to give you a chance to thank, anybody, family, coaches, sponsors, training partners, get it all out there.
Man, I want to thank all my sponsors, past and present, and the ones that I'm going to have for this fight. Shed, Taylor Box, M&N Sink, I can't even think of them all right now. See, I hate when y'all put me on the spot like that. I can't think all my sponsors, just all my sponsors. And, I want to thank, most importantly, the people that donate the tickets to the kids, that I go to the schools and that I train, and they come to the fight and they walk me out, and just everybody for believing in women's boxing and following me heavy the way that they do, because without people buying the tickets and supporting not just me, but any of the women, we wouldn't be on any of these cards, because it's just a business to these people. But so without the support and the people, we're nothing. I just thank everybody for being a woman, and especially not the typical woman, woman in a mask and a straitjacket that everybody comes out and support, but especially the ones that donate to all the children. I mean,
Yeah, well, see, it's all a great thing. And for me, I know this is such a big fight, so I have to thank you for taking time out to let the interview happen. I have to thank Josh Spurs of the Finish MMA, all the people at MMA Freaks. To keep up with everything Shelly's doing, the best outlet I've seen is on Twitter at Shelitos Way. I'll put it in text so you know how to find it. As for me, all social media is at Nick Portella MMA. Shelly, I wish you the best of luck in your fight. You've been one of the most fun interviews I had. And while I do not generally cover boxing, I will be at the Garden in October to watch the fight live.
Make sure we chop it up after. And,
Absolutely.
Hey, but I want to put my social media out there too.
Sure.
My Instagram and my Twitter. I don't be on Twitter too much though. Is at Shelitos Way, and on Facebook is Shelly Vincent or Shelito Vicente or Shelito Vincent, I think, because they're all filled. So
that's all right. I'll look them all up. I'll make sure they're all in there so people can keep up with me.
all right, thank you, my man.
Thank you again, Shelly.
For having an interest in boxing.
Oh yeah, I'll see you in October.
All right, my man.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.